All right, everybody, welcome to this video where I'm going to go over the study guide. I'm going to go through it one at a time. I'll go through it a little bit quickly since we went over most of them in class already. I'm going to need to zoom out here to start number one. There we go. So number one, it says graph the table and draw a line. We have a table here, and we want to turn it into a graph. And so what's important to understand here is that the points on a graph are the same thing as points on a table. These are essentially coordinates, right? These are essentially coordinates. So all I have to do is, well, there's some point where when the depth is 0, the temperature is 1,153. So I'm going to go to the depth of 0, and I'm going to go to 1,153. And now I don't know exactly where that is, but I do know that 1,153 is about halfway between 1,200 and 1,100. So I'm going to go to 0 on depth and put a point there, halfway in between 1,100 and 1,200. Now I'm going to do my next point. It has a depth of 40. And when it has a depth of 40, the temperature is 1,333. So that's about a third of the way up between 1,300 and 1,400. I'll put a point there. Next, the depth is 110. Well, I don't see the number 110, but I know 110 is about halfway between 100 and 120. So I go to 110. I go up to, 1555. So that's about halfway between 1,500 and 1,600. Put a point there. And last, I have a depth of 150. Again, I don't see 150. But I know it's probably about halfway between 140 and 160. I go up to 1654. Again, I'm guessing about halfway between 1600 and 1700. And draw the line. I connect these into a line. All right, that's it for that one. Clear this out. All right, we also have to graph the second one. I'm going to graph the first inequality first. It says y is less than negative 1/2 x plus 4. All right, so this is in y equals mx plus b, where b is the beginning and m is the slope. So here I see that the b is positive 4, so I'm going to write that here, positive 4, and the m is negative 1/2. The b tells me where to begin, so I'm going to begin here at positive 4. And the slope tells me the pattern that I need to continue. Remember, slope is always rise over run. All right, so I'm going to go, rise is negative 1, so I go down 1, and then I run 2, over 1, 2, put a point. All right, down 1, over 2, put a point. Down 1, over 2. And now, this is a less than or equal to sign. Since it has the equal to sign, I know I need a solid line. Oh, is there an undo button? Let's see. There's an erase button. All right, let me just do that. Let me just erase. Do this again really quickly. Sorry, it's pretty hard to draw on here. All right, so I'm going to connect these into a line. Close enough. And since it's a less than sign, I shade down. So I shade everything below. Shade below. Okay. Now this next equation, so this is done, but it's a system. System means there's two equations. I got to do this next equation here. And so I can't graph it until it looks like y equals mx plus b. So I need to first solve for y. So I need to get this y right here by itself. To do that, I'm going to add 4x to both sides to get rid of a negative 4x. These cancel. On this side, I'm left with 2y is less than 4x and 6. I cannot combine those. They are not like terms. One has a variable and one does not. And so I'm just going to leave it as a positive 4x and a positive 6. Can't combine those together. I divide each side by 2. And I'm going to write it all the way over here on the left side. I get y is less than 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2x plus 3. And so now this equation looks like this. I'm starting here at positive 3, right? The b is positive 3. And the slope is 2, but I always need the slope to be a fraction. So I know slope 2 as a fraction is just 2 over 1, because 2 divided by 1 is still 2. I didn't change the number, I just changed how it looked. So I go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. There we go. And now since this does not have an equal sign with it in the left hand, when I connect the dots, it's going to be a dashed line. I'm also going to shade below this. So shade everything below the line. And there we go. And so the answer to the system is this double area, this area that's shaded in both the blue and the red. And so any point that's in this shaded region, this double shaded region, satisfies the inequality. Any point that is outside that double shaded region doesn't satisfy it. All right, let's keep going. So select all the ordered pairs that are solutions to the equation 2x plus y equals negative 4. All right, so it's basically telling me I have all these ordered pairs here, and I want to know which ones land on this line right here. All right, so to do this, I know that ordered pairs are always x comma y. Every ordered pair ever, x comma y. And so I have a negative 4 here and a 2. And the negative 4, that's the x value, and the 2 is the y value. So I'm going to check to see if a is on the line, I'm going to plug in 2, but instead of writing x, I'm going to plug in the value of negative 4. 2 times negative 4 plus 2 equals negative 4. And I'm going to see is this true. If this is true, then it is a solution. If it's not true, then it's not a solution. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8 plus 2 equals negative 4. So I just multiplied, dropped everything else straight down. Negative 8 plus 2, that's negative 6, equals negative 4. Negative 6 does not equal negative 4. That's not true. They're not the same number. So I know that A is not a solution. So I can say A is not a solution. All right, let's try another one. Let's try B. Again, I'm going to write the equation. 2, plug into the x, a 6, times 6 plus 6 equals negative 4. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 6 is negative 4. 12 plus 6 is 18. 18 equals negative 4. That is not true. So B is not correct either. A is not correct. B is not correct. Now I'm going to check C. C. Okay, so 2 times 0 plus negative 4 equals negative 4. 2 times 0, that's just 0. Plus negative 4 equals negative 4. 0 plus negative 4 is negative 4. So negative 4 does equal negative 4 here. So I know C is correct because this is true, right? Negative 4 is negative 4. They're the same thing. That's in a true equation. So I know A is not, B is not, C, yes. Let's try D. We have 2 times 2 plus negative 8 equals negative 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus negative 8 equals negative 4. 4 plus 8 is negative 4. And negative 4 equals negative 4. That is true. So I know the correct answers are C and D. All right. Let's do the next one. Solve this inequality here. Both sides are not distributed, and so I always had to start with distribution. So I'm going to distribute. Hold on, let me pause this video real quick. Okay, so sorry, I just had to pause that real quick. Respond to an email. I'm going to start by distributing this. Don't know if I said that already. Negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. And then I have the less than sign. Comes down. I also need to distribute this. 7 times 2 is 14. And 7 times negative x is negative 7x. All right. So I need to get rid of the smaller variable term here. I have variables on both sides. Can't have that. So I'm going to get rid of the negative 8x by adding 8x to each side. These cancel. I get 8 is less than 14. Negative 7 plus 8 is 1x or x. And so I'll just write x. Subtract 14 from each side. I get 8 minus 14 is negative 6 is less than x. I might spin this around so that x is greater than negative 6. These are the same thing. You can see that either way, the sign is pointing at the negative 6. This is just a little bit easier to understand. All right, let's do question 5. It says consider the equation 5 minus 3x equals 2 plus 7x. So we need to solve it. Simple here. Again, I got variables on both sides. I can't have that. I'm going to get rid of the negative 3x on this side. So there's only variable terms on this side. To get rid of a negative 3x, I add 3x to each side. These cancel. I get 5 equals 2. 7x and 3x give me 10x. I subtract 2 from each side. I get 3 equals 10x. Divide each side by 10. X is equal to 3 over 10. All right. And we are going to skip 5b since we went over this pretty hard in class. But I will just share the answers are A and B. All right. So that just leaves us. We're also going to skip 7 since we said this. We didn't need to do this one anymore. So we're just going to end with number 6 here. End with number 6. All right. Kaya buys a total of 25 pencils and markers for $7.50. Each pencil costs 25 cents. Each marker costs 50 cents. Let P represent the number of pencils Summer buys, and let M represent the number of markers. Write a system of equations that could be used to determine the number of pencils and markers that Summer buys. So we got to write a system of equations. A system of equations is 2 equations. I know that P stands for pencils. I'm going to write that over here. P is pencils. M is markers. All right, so I need to think about the information I have. She buys 25 pencils and markers. So she only buys pencils and markers, and she has a total of 25. Only pencils and markers. So pencils and markers totals to 25. I can write that, right? Pencils and markers totals to 25. Look, I just turned these words into a math equation. Pencils and markers equals 25. Now let's see what other information I have. Each pencil costs 25 cents. I need to make that a math expression. So I'm going to write as 0.25p plus 0.5m equals 750, right? So each pencil costs 25 cents. Each marker costs 50 cents, and she spent a total of 750. So these are my 2 equations. I'm done with part A. Part B says, how many pencils and markers did she buy? Well, I need to use Desmos to solve this. I'm going to hop over to Desmos. I'm going to type in my equation. But Desmos is not as smart as me and you. It can't read P's and M's. So I got to change it to X's and Y. So anywhere I see a P, I'm going to type an X. Anywhere I see a Y or an M, I'm going to type a Y. I'm going to type in the 2 equations. I can't see anything. So that means I probably need to zoom out a little. My solution is always where they intersect. Now, the most important part is to know Okay, they cross at 20 and 5. How do I know which one is which? Well, since X replaced the P and it's X comma Y, I know 20 is the pencils and 5 is the markers. So 20 pencils and 5 markers. All right, we're skipping number 7. That is the end of the study guide video.